Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of the Leonard Ezenwa, the guy who was sent to hijack the party African National Congress. That's his face. Is the one on art going behind with his lawyer, and these are his people too. Look at the face of the thieves. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of the thieves. That's one of those thieves, the guy who was sent to hijack our party. Look at his accomplices. Yeah, look at them. Shame on you people. Shame on you all. Well, like. That's yes, well, like. Life.
The high court judgment is by reading the judgment. That's it. When you read the issue of the two presidents judgment, our position was that it's the same issue that the court of appeal has. So there's no way you can carry the high court judgment and say that they are valid judgment that have not been set aside. We mustn't go specifically to set aside the issue of the judgment. It's very thorough.
Let's say that I have to go and come back and kick.
Don't carry everyone. You can only carry those who won the case.
Thank you. And the deputy legal advisor, who is anti-party.
This one.
This is anti-party. And he's going to be governor in 2027.
He will meet us.
Go meet us. I will deal with him.
Oh yes. Now you are talking.
No. We're not there yet.
You are guaranteed the nomination.
I can't. How did you come to that conclusion?
We are not selling forms to him.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Because
we will look at it.
Why would he rest? He needs to. No, let him pass. You know they're alive.
Nice to the cutter.
Can we stay here? Where's
Let's show that shape. Can you tell us what has... No, issue.
No, you better shoot back. I can't do anybody. Yeah. Well, this is a general broadcast to Nigerians, particularly members of the African National Congress. We are here today at the Federal High Court in Abuja to finally litigate and put an end attempts to hijack our party that started in 2019. And for 3 years, as we have consistently told you, the hijackers were in control of the party, having been in cahoots with INEC. We won at the Court of Appeal on June 2nd, 2022, with the assistance always of our most competent powerful lawyer, Barrister Inibehi, Ethiopia, as you all know him. But the litigants are wanting to abuse processes of our courts with impunity. Brought the case that had already been decided by the Court of Appeal to the Federal High Court before Justice Unwite. And as he stood, the judge found them to have abused the processes of courts and made it clear once again today that legally, politically, and in every material sense, the party is legitimately in the hands of its original leaders, being the chairperson of the party, which was originally the case since 2019, stayed in that position because the party was hijacked for 3 years. We have validly held the convention, the special convention to elect, nominate a presidential candidate for the party and other candidates for the party. And today, our learned judge, his lordship, made it very clear that the position of our lawyer was valid, accurate, and very succinct in saying that this lawsuit was an abuse of the court processes. And he awarded punitive judgments, courts against the violators of court processes. In this case, an expelled member of the party who's by name Leonard Ezenwa. So we're here with our lawyer, most respected, most vibrant, and most conscious lawyer who cannot be intimidated anywhere, any day. We're not allowed to advertise lawyers, but we can advertise character. So we welcome our lawyer, Pastor Nibehe, to give you more legal background. And thank you very much once again for doing the great job that you are known for.
Gentlemen of the press, we came to court this morning before the Federal High Court in Abuja for judgment in yet again another lawsuit filed by one Leonard Ezenwa, who was expelled from the African National Congress rightly. Recall that in 2019, Leonard had approached the Federal High Court before the Honorable Justice Iyaneko, where he asked my lord to declare that Mr. Sowore was, according to him, validly suspended as the national chairman of the AAC. And in that lawsuit, he made certain flimsy and frivolous claims and allegations. One of which, I need to make this point clear to Nigerians, according to Leonard Ezenwa, was that Sowore had misappropriated or had embezzled party funds. But because in the African National Congress and as the national legal advisor of the party, I know as a fact that Sowore never misappropriated, he never embezzled, he never took party funds or campaign funds as alleged by Leonard. This allegation was false because for him, that was one of the reasons he claimed Sowore was suspended, even though there was no evidence of sin. Of course, the Federal High Court entered judgment in his favor. The Honorable Justice Iyaneko entered judgment in his favor. And we were rightly aggrieved by that judgment. We consequently approached the Court of Appeal in 2019, asking that the judgment of the Federal High Court be set aside on several grounds, principally on lack of subject matter jurisdiction, on the grounds that the case was against the weight of evidence, and of course on grounds of breach of fair hearing. In a well-considered judgment, the Court of Appeal this year, I think in June 2nd, unanimously, there was no dissent, agreed with us that one, the judgment of the Federal High Court, wherein the purported suspension of Sowore was affirmed, was entered in error. In that one, the Federal High Court lacked jurisdiction to meddle into the issues of the leadership of the AAC. The court didn't stop there. The Court of Appeal went further to hold that the constitutional right of Sowore to fair hearing and that of Dr. Malcolm were breached by the Federal High Court by its judgment. And the court even went further to award the sum of 200,000 against Leonard Ezenwa, which effectively restored Sowore as the national chairman of the AAC, and by implication made nonsense of what has always been a false claim that Sowore did not account for party funds. Of course, dissatisfied with that judgment, Mr. Leonard approached the Supreme Court, which appeal is still pending, and then sought to have the judgment of the Court of Appeal overturned. He has not succeeded in doing that, clearly realizing that going to the Supreme Court was a waste of time, given the clarity, given the lucidity with which the judgment of the Court of Appeal was entered. The reasons and the reasoning that cannot be faulted, that cannot be controverted in law. Leonard made an about-face, returned to the Federal High Court this year, and then filed a fresh suit wherein it asks that the Federal High Court should again recognize him as the national chairman of the AAC, stop Mr. Sowore from being the presidential candidate of the AAC, and several other reliefs which, as we rightly argued before the court, were ungrantable in law. We raised an objection to that suit on several grounds, including lack of jurisdiction, including abuse of court process, and of course the doctrine of res judicata. We even argued that even on the basis of the AAC constitution, the suit could not have been commenced because the consent of Sowore was not certain obtained. Issues were joined, and today, thankfully, my Lord, the Honorable Justice Nwite, in a well-considered judgment, has again agreed with us that Leonard is a meddlesome interloper, is an agent of illegality, is a man with an unquenchable ambition, political ambition that is also insatiable. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the judgment, my Lord used very strong language to deprecate what is clearly an act of illegality. My Lord even excoriated, in some way, the lawyers to Mr. Leonard, who we had warned should not have brought this suit. And then the court did not just dismiss the suit. The court restated that today, in law, the only national chairman of the AAC is Mr. Omoyele Sowore, and that indeed, any claim to deprive Sowore of his position as national chairman of the AAC is unfounded in law, and that except the Supreme Court upturns the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Sowore will remain the national chairman. The court even went further to dismiss the suit and awarded punitive cost of 500,000 against Mr. Leonard Ezenwa. So this is a caution to Nigerians out there. Do not listen to any contrary information. You can see we are saying this live from the Federal High Court. We have defeated him at the Court of Appeal. Today we have defeated him again at the Federal High Court. And his history of defeat is not going to change, because when you are pursuing a course of action that is not founded in law, a course of action that is actuated by malice, that is actuated by falsehood, you are bound to fail. So in summary today, we have again won another victory for the Nigerian people, who now have an alternative, a credible alternative in the platform of the AAC, to allow Nigerians with ideology, Nigerians who have a different mindset, to come and seek their mandate in the 2023 election. So this is me telling Nigerians that today, the court has said clearly that nobody can stop Sowore from being the national chairman and the presidential candidate of the party. And people ask the question, why is he holding to our position? I think this is a good opportunity to address that. So that this argument that Sowore is the chairman, Sowore is the spokesman, Sowore is everything in the party is actually false. In 2019, the AAC held a national convention to elect its first leaders. In that convention, Sowore was unanimously elected as the national chairman. But when we went on the convention ground, the same Leonard made an attempt to hijack the party. Right? So when members of the party saw some money bags coming in, some external persons trying to hijack the party, they said no. Because he wanted to be the national chairman. They said no, that if we allow this desperate individual, he's going to make nonsense of the party. So they allowed Sowore to continue to remain as the chairman of the party. And of course, Sowore also became a national chairman. But in the course of that, he went to court and got a judgment saying that Sowore was no longer the chairman, the national chairman of the party. So it is a question of law while Sowore holds dual position. It is not, in fact, Sowore, I can tell you, has repeatedly said that he's very willing to relinquish the position. The reason why the dual position remains is because of this litigation that Mr. Leonard had triggered. So please get it from me clearly that once again we have defeated the agents of impunity, we have defeated the disciples of falsehood, and we have again won victory for the rule of law and for members of the AAC. And of course, we are very grateful for the support of Nigerians and the party. And I must also thank my colleague, the Abuja business lawyer, as I call him, who has been very supportive in this cause. So that is the position, that is what transpired in the court. And
to also add that...
so he's now owing the party?
Yes, 700,000 naira. And we need that money to print posters so that we can win the 2023 elections. And this is also a message to all those who are out there who continue and baselessly try to malign us. We have no problem with freedom of speech. freedom after speech. What we're saying to you is that there is a candidate that's out to defeat the old order, and we know you are angry about that. That your candidates are not able to speak to the issues affecting the Nigerian people, and that they don't have the credibility and integrity to carry through to 2023. We'll make it happen. We want to thank party members. So many of them have suffered, yes, a lot in the hands of these hijackers. We want to thank Nigerians who have constantly believed us because they know we have integrity. And we thank all of you who are waiting for this kind of judgment so that you can knock on the bad wagon, that there's no legal problem affecting us anymore. If you want to look for legal problems, you can go to the major parties. That's where all their members are involved. So-called major parties. When I say major, I don't mean that a major in failure and incompetence. So thank you guys so much. And once again, thank you, our lawyer, who has been doing a great job. And you know him. You know, I don't need to explain him to you. Like I said, I can't advertise him as a lawyer, but I can advertise his integrity. And love you. Thank you so much.